Happy Thursday, everyone.
Yes, it's a good Thursday.
I'm just getting my screen set up over here. Is is anyone else using Market Search right now? I'm unable to load the website.
Can try it.
Appreciate it. Hmm.
I got in.
Let me try a different browser. Yeah, it's just my browser. Me, I'm using a little too much AI stuff these days. I'm using ChatGPT's Atlas, and it's not loading it for some reason. Even cleared cookies. Oh well, just what it is. How's everyone's investing going?
A good month for sure.
Fantastic months. I was following hedge funds, and some hedge funds are just it's gone crazy, especially the ones who are in the semiconductor sector. So let's get started with all those little disclaimers. This presentation is provided solely for educational and informational purposes and should not be considered investment advice, an endorsement, or a recommendation to buy, sell, or hold any security. I am participating as a volunteer and not receiving any compensation for this presentation. All investing involves risks, including the potential for significant financial loss. Viewers are encouraged to perform their own due diligence, evaluate the personal financial circumstances, and consult with a qualified professional before making any investment decisions. Neither I nor any affiliated individuals assume responsibility or liability for actions taken based on the information presented here. I've invested for 20 years. I like bringing people together. I've invested for in semiconductors before. Nvidia is my most notable win since 2017. It's been about a 9-year hold, even though I sold some positions on the way up. So far, I've 0% invested. So what's happening? Why am I not invested? All signals have signaled to invest except personal life situation, which is my baby got born on May 1st. So about a few weeks before my baby got born, I told myself there's no trading. And luckily for me, I said myself, or else I would be trading right now, and I think things would be a lot more tense and stressful for me. And it's not worth the amount of monetary gain. That's why I'm 0% invested, even though every single buy signal hit. So let's look at the agenda. So, welcome, general market update, some legs resources, growth stocks, major events. There's no educational topic today because I've been having some sleepless nights, just waking up at 3 p.m., 3 a.m. So I've been up for a good amount of time already, but it's a fun ride. So pretty much I updated this data today, and pretty much you should be in the market. So what happens if you're like me and you're not in the market? By all counts and by all checks and balances, the market is a little frothy. But if this was 1999, hey, this is maybe a midway through and we still have more to go through. We're kind of a little far away from the 50-day moving averages, very far away from the 200-day moving averages. And we look at just, we just look at the NASDAQ daily chart. You can see what an absolute rocket ship it's been since the beginning, since I think it's the end of March here, end of March, beginning of April here. Absolute rocket ship. If you even look in the past, let's go over to my market search. I I think I accidentally put this is the daily chart, but it's a little bit hard to see. Let's see if it'll load this time. No, no dice. Oh, hold on. I'm experiencing some technical difficulties. As if my computer and I are on the same page.
You just said you're using AI, so we thought AI is talking to us.
I have tried making AI to mimic my own voice and my own speech patterns, but it's not there yet. It just sounds so weird, and all my employees can tell that it's an AI speaking versus it's actually me. So it's like, it's just not there yet to mimic a person yet, but it's getting pretty darn close. Like, since does validation, AI can trick AI,
Yep.
but AI can't trick humans just yet. So Yogesh, did you buy the SanDisk move?
No, it was too choppy, so I couldn't. By the time I wanted to get in, it already moved.
How are you emotionally feeling?
No, market is like a casino, so there is always something else going to come along. Not a big deal.
So, I've been talking to my semiconductor friends because I'm in San Francisco Bay Area. It's literally HQ for everything. So, a lot of my friends have like quadrupled their net worth in the past 4 years. I'm like, what happened? I'm like, oh, my stocks went up. They're working for, except my friends at Supermicro, their stock didn't go up. But if you talk about like Nvidia, you talk about AMD, and they're like, even Intel, it's like everyone is like living large. And I'm like, how the heck did you guys make so much money all of a sudden? And it's just like, it's just pure stock options. And I'm like, this market is just so interesting.
Yeah, for stock options, like you should not consider that because if you work for a company, you're getting them because you're working there. So it's not, you're kind of lucky, I would say. But if you were invested in the right stocks, then last 6 months will be awesome.
Yes. Last 6 months have been awesome.
Or Floyd here, look at SOXL. You don't even have to pick individual stocks.
No.
Yep.
SOXL's on fire.
So let's say you actually had the legs buy at April 6th, a little bit before our last meetup, and there's been profit target reach and profit target keep on reaching, and there's rebuys and rebuys and rebuys into it. So let's say you bought it at 54, it's at 186. Can do the math. It's a three.
Yeah.
It's a three bagger.
Yeah.
That's insane. Even with all these buys and sells. If you just kind of forgot, if I maybe bought out April 6th and I forgot about it, oh, that might have been good. But hey,
Or even if you bought last fall, last fall you could have bought SOXL for like $25, $30, and here it is 180.
Very true. Very, very true.
I mean, it doesn't get any SOXL, in my opinion, it doesn't get any better than what we're seeing right now. And hopefully people are taking advantage of it because I don't see how it could be any better than what we've experienced in the last 6 months.
So what's
Are you
interesting?
saying, Floyd, it's time to take profits or time to hold, or
It's time, if you don't already have them in place, it's time to have solid sell rules in place and know when you want to sell. But no, I wouldn't sell now, because if I would sell now, I would have convinced myself at 110 it was time to sell. And so you let the baby ride, or if you want to, you could potentially buy a put option or whatever, but you can look at stochastics or moving average, or by some means look at a reasonable sell signal. But and I used to really be enamored with TQQ, and it's doing well. TQQ, I think, hit just about 80 today, but TQQ is grossly underperforming. It's doing great in terms of percentage wise, but it's just grossly underperforming SOXL. So I think
No, but
it's a gift. It's a gift for those of us that have been studying leveraged ETFs and had systems in place. We're now reaping enormous benefits by being holders of these, and just now follow the sell rule criteria. And when you sell, you look for the next buy opportunity, which could be within days or weeks or longer before we get another buying opportunity. But this thing has gone almost vertical, and so I'm really fortunate that I'm involved in it. But I don't know that we'll see it this steep of an ascent again. We might, but to me, it's a gift out there, and it's just riding the AI boom. I am assuming it's what's going on.
Yep.
Haley, what's the thing on the bottom?
This is the leverage edge strategy. This is the one that Floyd Damon and Gary Taylor put together into a software that says a lot of buy and sell signals.
Is that Thinkorswim?
No, this is TradingView.
Okay.
Yeah, Gary's got a site, leverageedge.com, and he's got wonderful video. Basically, Gary took it over from me. I just gave Gary all of my background information and told him to run with it. And he's got pretty detailed buy and sell rules that are somewhat similar to what Yogesh just shared with us last month. They're different, but somewhat similar. And you find a system you like, and if you believe it gives you useful information, it helps you know when to be in cash and when to be invested. And so you could check out leverageedge.com and see if there's any value for you there. But I would not buy SOXL now. No, I wouldn't.
No.
If I wasn't in, I wouldn't buy it now. No.
Yeah, if you're like me and you didn't invest and now you're here, I'm like, I'm just gonna sit. I'm gonna sit pretty. I'm gonna.
Does anyone know? Is there an inverse SOXL?
SOXS.
What's that?
SOXS.
Oh,
Last letter is S as in Sam.
Yeah.
Oh, let me write that down. Hey, I don't know. I don't know that I want to own that, but it's nice to have the information.
yep. Sam, Oscar, X-ray, Sam.
Yeah, I'm writing that down. But if I've never been, I've never been personally, Floyd here, I've never been successful on the inverse, and maybe it's just my personality, but it's nice to know there's an inverse out there.
No, it's not your personality per se. Whatever I showed last time, I've taken it to a whole new level,
Mm-hmm.
and it has kind of become now like a strategy back tester. And I'll showcase it in next 2-3 months because I'm still working on it. But I tried it with TQQQ and I kind of perfected it to a point where it was giving me a 700K over a period of 7 years from 2019 to 2026 so far. I tried it with SOXL. SOXL doesn't do well because it had a lot of choppy months in between. So the current trade on SOXL is awesome, but it is very delusional if you're only going to play through that one trade. If you look at the history, it doesn't work that way.
Right, right.
TQQ is so far the best I've seen because of the consistency with the way markets work. So they are highly bullish, as I mentioned last time. So if you're invested in TQQQ, it gets you out at the right time and then gets you in back again at the right time. And over a longer period, it catches those big moves very well.
Yes, I agree.
So,
But I will say, I bought my SOXL last, I can't remember, October or whenever it was.
Wow.
It's for fun. It's a fun thing. I'm not a smart guy, whatever. I'm reaping the benefits of what the market is doing. And I have to realize that this is ephemeral. It can change quickly, and enjoy it while it lasts. It will change.
yep.
Well,
Mean reversion is universal law. It will happen.
Yeah.
You just don't know when.
Yeah.
I was going to ask the date.
Well, roll the dice.
roll the dice.
But folks out there, Floyd again, sorry for saying as much as I'm saying, but use this as a history lesson and look at the charts for TQQ and TNA, SOXL, and some of the others, and start getting your brain oriented to patterns and thinking of how, if you want to be in the leveraged area, which can move fast, get yourself oriented towards visual of what's possible here now so that you're maybe better prepared next time, I would say.
Yep.
There are two other related ETFs that also performed very well in this time frame. I'm sure you have heard of at least one of them. One is DRAM.
Yep.
And then the other one is CHAT.
I haven't heard of either one of them. So what is the specialty of those two?
Well, DRAM is the memory stocks, Micron,
Okay.
SanDisk,
Okay.
and then it also includes two that are over in Asia that we can't invest in. And so that's what's juicing that one.
Okay.
And then the CHAT are a list of stocks, I don't know which ones, that are AI related.
Okay.
So you can also check VCX. That is more like a AI venture fund, and they have a big stake at Anthropic and a couple of other AI companies. And you can see last like 10 days run, it's like crazy.
Yep. It's like, hey, that's the only stock I'm invested in.
But pay attention to what Yogi said earlier about the long-term strategy and the performance where TQQ will provide more consistent and maybe more tradable moves for you. And it's fun to jump on some of these others, but we also should have what's going to work longer term. And the key for everyone though is when you get on one of these nice runs, whether it's an individual stock or an ETF, is you absolutely have to have sell rules, and you need to have the sell rules ahead of time, because if you're trying to develop the sell rules on the fly, it's probably not going to work out so well for you.
I'm just adding, actually, no, these are leverage ETFs. Okay, so let's see. We haven't done this in a while. Sloy used to do this when he was running the meetup. The big picture.
There's also a new ETF that came out about a week and a half ago called EUV. It's all the optical components that are being built out for what's going on. It's only traded for like a week and a half. And so it's very new and there's not, it's just forming a base pattern starting to, but it's like DRAM. It has all the potential to take off.
Well, thanks people for sharing the symbols.
Yeah.
I just learned the term photonics today, and I heard that there's actually that's actually one of the bottlenecks because of cellular communication. Like 5G is just not fast enough between all like Waymos and all the technology that's being implemented in at least in San Francisco. Like they want faster communication between the central servers and the cars on the road. So I was like, and photonics is one of the ways to do it is because it's just light speed communication.
Well, even in the hyperscaler, they're finding that copper is really limited after about 3 feet. And so optical is the demand for everything.
It's like the old days of DSL, where the further you are away from like the hubs, the slower speeds you get, and the closer you are to the hubs, the faster speeds you get.
Right.
Is EUV the optical like coherent LITE and
Correct. Yes.
Corning?
You got it exactly. Yeah.
Does anyone invest in Nokia? Some people are saying it's like the next play, but it's like these are a bunch of my tech friends asking me questions. I'm like, I have no clue. Sure.
Don't know.
I don't know either.
I mean, it's already been moving up for a number of weeks, for about 6 weeks. It's been under some accumulation,
Yes.
you know, so.
So let's take a look at this the big picture, the market pool. So indexes are rallying, telecom stocks are shiny. Exposure, just like at first, is 100%. There's no distribution days on the Nasdaq. There's only one S&P, and some of the big semiconductor names are up in volume. Marvel, TSMC, Cisco, and leaders down in volume. Also, I'm kind of surprised. Is Qualcomm, Vcore, PDF Solutions, Kodiak Gas Services. Sure. So just big picture wise, even we look at the market in general today, if we look into let me change my charts. So if we look at all the charts, it's kind of mimicking what's happening in all these triple leverage ETFs. You see the SPY, you see NASDAQ, you see even QQQ equal weighted is finally starting to hit a new all-time high. So it's definitely, if you look at the NASDAQ, it's definitely the heavy hitters that are getting more money and more investments into it. If you look at something like this, Russell's still lagging behind a little bit. And I always like looking at FFTY, but I feel like this is just noise at this point. It's chronically underperforming just by the cues at this point. Then you have the mid cap stocks, they're also underperforming. And we look into, I always like the details, right? The small, the mids, the large, the values, the growth, and all of them. And this is the value S&P 500, and this is the growth S&P 500. So it's definitely money going into the market that's saying what is going to make the future happen sooner. Because definitely the S&P value is definitely lagging behind the S&P growth. And of course, gold, copper are still doing its thing of just, I wanted to go up, but silver has done something interesting. I haven't really followed it much, but I'm surprised that silver's down as much as it is.
Oh, don't worry. It is going to make a catch-up play, most likely 200, 300, maybe 500.
Hey, would you call me when that's going to happen, please?
Yes, I will call you after it has happened.
No, the day before.
Just give me that one big day that goes up. Just call me that night before. So that's kind of what's happening in the big market picture wise from the Nasdaq, Russells, and S&P 500. I'm gonna switch it up a bit, and let's go ahead and just do some stock analysis. Let's see if we can. I don't know what's going on with my market search right at this moment. I can't load it. So if you guys have any stocks you guys want to look at, we'll use my trading view at the moment.
Ciena, CIEN.
Where are all my indicators? Give me a sec. Something.
And does anyone know what Ciena's specialty is?
I do not. There's something off. Did I go crazy one day and just reset all my stocks? All these layouts are foreign to me.
You had a baby.
Yeah, I think that'll be it.
CI
Change your whole life.
I'm like, where's my moving averages? Where's my stochastics? Where's like all my technical data? All I have is a bar chart now. I'm like, did I accidentally click save one of these nights when I was looking at stocks? And now my charts look like something very basic trading view.
this, you
I-
may have opened a new layout, or you might have double click on the chart so your indicators are hidden.
Yeah, but I don't see any indicators anywhere. It's so
Try double clicking on the chart.
no, I think it's all like
Oh, okay.
deleted. Oh, mother effer. It's
So
okay.
CIEN is a network company, like technology networks.
Okay.
What brought this one to mind, Floyd?
Well, I was listening to IBD Live maybe, I don't know, 9 months ago, maybe 10 months ago. And at that time, Sienna had a major gap up from maybe like, I don't know, 90 to 115 or somewhere in that vicinity, less than a year ago.
Yeah,
And I
that
don't,
was in September.
okay, so I don't normally do this, but one of the guys I like on IBD Live said, hey, just get a starter position. You might be happy you did that. So I bought 100 shares at 117, and I have no idea why it's doing so fantastic. But
So
about 4 days.
that was the first time when EPS growth, sales growth, EPS surprise, and sales surprise all were green. And after that, December, March, they're all green. This March we have triple-digit EPS growth, double-digit sales growth. So that's why the stock is running like crazy.
So what I did about Monday, I think it was, I sold a covered call. I mean, 100 shares, and I was rather shocked at how much money somebody wanted to pay me. I have a covered call that expires on June 18th with a strike of $820. And someone paid me $12.36 a share. And if someone wants to take them away from me at 820, I'll say you can have them. But that's not that many days away to June 18th. And so on some of these stocks, on some of these high flyers, the premiums are pretty impressive.
Yeah, because IV is very high.
But what surprised me is I put my ticket order in for $11, and it executed at 12.36. It executed $1.36 more than I offered. I haven't seen that before either.
That's because IV percentile is 97%.
So it'll be interesting to see in 30 days is this baby going to hit 820 or not? Because if it doesn't, I'll just sell another call.
Depends on the earnings. Earnings are on June 4th.
Right. Yeah, I realized I went past the earnings. And so maybe that was a no-no, but I when I did it, I go, oh well, I'll put in 820 and see if it executes, and it did. But that was, I guess that was a speculative or a fun trade, and almost no matter what happens, I'll make money on that one, But it was simply because of a comment I heard, and not normally why I would buy a stock. But when I saw that big gap up, 9 months ago or whenever that was, it was a pretty impressive gap on volume. And so I said, well, let's do 100 shares, and here we just sort of sharing something here with the folks.
I'm going to paste something in the chat, and you guys will see. I mentioned this for not for SanDisk, but I think for SanDisk. I don't remember which stock it was. I mentioned this like last to last meeting. So this is for CIEN.
Okay.
Let me see
So
if
if you,
bring it up for everybody.
And what is it you're showing us?
I'll explain once he brings it up.
There we go.
Yep. So focus on the top table. So you
Okay.
can see September was the first time when everything in that row is green.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and focus on EPS Y%. So that is quarter over quarter. But this quarter compared to same quarter last year. So same way IBD does it. So exactly
Right.
same thing. The next one is EPS this quarter versus last quarter. And the EPS S means surprise. The same thing for the sales as well. So when that whole row is green, usually I have seen that is when the stock starts behaving better and better after that. And the more green rows you get, the stock starts moving really fast after that.
Right. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that table.
But the earnings for the next quarter are supposed to be lower than they were the previous quarter. Am I looking at that correctly?
So Yes, they were lower than the previous quarter, correct. So it was 91 in September, then it went down to 68. But that should not be a problem because it's still double-digit growth. Same for sales growth. So it should not be alarming at this time. And then you can see what happened in March. It's triple-digit EPS growth and then double-digit sales growth. And now they are accelerating, which is why it's in bold green. And the estimated June earnings, it's also showing triple-digit EPS growth and double-digit sales growth.
That's absolutely crazy.
So if you go back and look at the stocks that have made a significant run in history, you will find this pattern repeat.
Where literally every sales, every earnings is just going higher and higher, and it's getting more and more surprised every time.
Not necessarily higher and higher every time, but the trend is higher, and usually that whole row gets green. So, like there is surprise that is happening on that earnings for sales as well as for EPS. So that's what I mean by the green line.
Those are all year over year, quarter over quarter.
Yep. It's year over year, but this quarter compared to last quarter, same year, last quarter, or same quarter last year. So
Anyway, that was one to study. If you ask for a symbol, I threw one out.
I'm kind of wondering, it's like, aren't a lot of people getting fired right now? So if a lot of people getting fired, does that mean even though you're not getting more sales, is actually getting more earnings for the company? So does that mean that's a frothy market currently? Because it's on paper, it looks great until a few years later. Like, what is it? I think I heard through the grapevine where Coinbase actually fired all their engineers and they kept the project managers. And when they kept their project managers, they all did vibe coding. Vibe coding is talking to a large language model like Claude or ChatGPT and trying to code. And what ended up happening is it ended up crashing the whole entire website.
Oh no.
And Coinbase is a San Francisco-based cryptocurrency holding company and associated highly secure. And they're holding billions of dollars of assets of people because cryptocurrency supposedly has value or has value. So it's like
They should have done it the other way around. Should have gotten rid of the project managers and helped the engineers.
Spoken like an engineer.
yeah. Engineers does all the work. Project manager just tells you where to go. They sometimes don't even know where to go.
Right, Richard? Engineer.
I
there
got
is a different chain of thoughts. Like a lot of these companies, like Cisco, I think laid off today a lot of engineers or a lot of their workforce, 10% or something like that. Amazon has done that. Microsoft has done it. LinkedIn did it, I think, this week. So a lot of these tech companies are laying off because if you think about it, they are the ones that are also building the AI models and the infrastructure and everything. So if they want their clients to buy in, they have to show operational efficiency. And how do you show that? Because if you're hiring more and more engineers, naturally your client is going to say, wait a minute, why aren't you laying off and using your own AI to do your stuff? So they're trying to do that. What I have found is I use Cloud and ChatGPT and Gemini. If you tell them, if you know what you're doing, that has to be the first thing. Like you know exactly what you want and you understand the nuts and bolts of it. And then you tell the AI to do or code for you and it will do it, but not necessarily correct. It will do it the way it understands it or the way it assumes a lot of things. And it will just give you something. Now, you have to understand that, hey, what you gave me is not right because this is what I asked for. And then it'll say, oh, yeah, I made a mistake and let me fix it. So if you don't know the insides of it, then it's more like it's going to feed you something and you will feel, oh, wow, this is great. It's working. But in a sense, there is a mistake done in the code that you won't realize unless something breaks.
And you have to read the responses, even though it's like reading a book.
Right.
You got to read it in detail, or else you'll miss something that it picked up that it did.
Yep,
And you got
absolutely.
to fix it.
I've kind of had the same experience with not doing code, but doing some design work. And it starts off great, but if you make too many revisions, it forgets where you started. And no, seriously.
It does.
And it starts creating new things because it forgets the first half of what you did. And it becomes more difficult to fix the problem.
Yeah.
Yes. So to work the workaround for that, I landed in those situations as well. So when I'm coding, it starts with the base idea, it builds it, builds it, builds it, and it becomes a solid platform. And then it starts forgetting. So, like I realized that after a while, my code, which has a lot of comments, the comments are gone. I'm like, what the hell happened here? So I said, okay, where are my comments? Oh yeah, I forgot. I removed them. So what I've realized is after you are at a good stage where your code is working, and now you have to you want to add more stuff to it, start a new conversation and start it from there. So think of it more like, as a human, you have so much of memory, and after a while you start forgetting. So you have to start over. So that's what you have to do, and then it works fine, or at least that is my experience.
I've had the same experience.
Yep, same here. Claude, ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini doesn't freaking matter. All of them have the same memory loss. All of them have dementia. Let's just say that. So James,
There's one other thing that I've been trying myself, and that is I have a GUI with maybe 8 or 10 tabs on it, and I designed a spec for each tab. And then I put them all away because the code was pretty solid. And now I only refer to it when I say, hey, you're doing the wrong thing, go look at the spec, but reading the specs just consumes its memory. So for it to consume all the documents up front is like ridiculous. So I leave the code as being the spec in a sense. That's what I've been working on. It's fun though. I've never had so much fun coding. Let's put it that way.
we're no longer looking for semicolons anymore. We're way past that. So James in chat,
We might have to help Richard find a new definition of fun.
or we all go into a little Discord chat and we all co-work with each other, and we'll just finding a new way to code. So James in chat did global money supply. He says there's been a $17 trillion increase. So that's about roughly 20%, lack of better math, increase since the last this looks like the past maybe year and a half-ish. So does anyone know how much money is still in money markets? So even though the money supply has increased and there's been 17 trillion, has it really all gone into equities? And then my question is always, what's the current money market? Anyone know?
No.
I'll look it up later. So we're gonna go back to
That one's easy, Haley. Just Google how much money is in brokerage house money market funds.
I forgot. Okay, ChatGPT versus Gemini. Give me
The data is in Fred.
the data. Oh, where the heck is all my stuff? Here is Zoom. Here is chat. You said the data's in the thread?
FRED.
Oh, Fred. I see. So we're looking at
About $8 trillion.
$8 trillion total. So money markets hasn't really, maybe an extra trillion has gone since Q3. No, let's go Q4 2024. So 7.2 trillion to 8.2 trillion. So about one extra trillion has gone into money market funds. So a good amount is probably invested into. So is money market money not invested in the market, or money is just sitting in a house? It's sitting in a brokerage account that's not invested. Thank you, James. So James says money market funds are invested in the markets via the treasury, and it's not sitting in the sidelines. So there is an extra $1 trillion inside, and money supply has gone into 17 trillion has been increased over the past year and a half. Interesting.
To make this meaningful, go to your trading view
Okay.
and type in SPY divide by M2SL and do a monthly chart.
What did you do? I didn't know you could do division in there.
Always. Yogesh always teaching everyone new tricks.
Yeah, okay. And then zoom out. Yeah, there you go. So the first peak that you see here is the dot-com bubble. And now we are in the AI bubble. So can it break through and keep going higher, or will it drop from here? That's the question.
What is M2SL?
That's the money supply.
Money supply. So we're doing why SPY? Why not like the Qs? Same result, doesn't matter, maybe.
I mean, XPY is the broad market, so I use SPY, but you can use Q, I guess.
Oh, that looks even worse.
It's gone even higher.
Looks
All the way up there. Look at the one green.
like, hey, I'm lonely up here. Is anyone gonna join me? It's like, nah, I'm not gonna predict what's gonna happen. Just Yogesh, we all know Yogesh is calling us when silver hits 200. That's it. That's all we know for sure. But it's always after the fact.
So QQ.
Cool. That's what an interesting way to view the money market supply, because you do by the broad market divided by the money markets. Then you can see the ratios of how the stock market behaves relative to the total market supply. And
Yep.
it looks like a lot of people are invested.
And in fact, the current market, only handful of stocks are participating. It's not the entire market that is participating.
It's not. When we looked at all the big, when we look at like mid caps and small caps, when we did at first, it's just they weren't participating as heavily. They are participating, but mainly if you're big, you're getting.
So if I'm reading this right, it's saying that the QQQ is growing faster than the money supply. Is that what I'm seeing?
Yes.
Okay.
Just for fun, let's do DJI. Oh man, that's anyone?
I say not as high.
Why is this not showing?
Are you hitting it there?
You're right, not as high. Here's the .com boom over in 01. DJI has a little bit more history. Anyone know what happened in 1959? Do we have some kind of real? No, we're after World War II. I don't know. Okay, ChatGPT, what? Well, that's getting it. Any other stocks people want us to kind of review as a group? Oh, you know what? There was. It was Koru, wasn't it? Absolutely nothing. Cool. So Koru. And we're gonna go into the daily charts.
I know this is probably not an exciting one, but what's happening with PLTR? It's been going down for what, 5-6 months?
Planeteer is not on my radar. Anyone else is following Planeteer that could chime in a little bit?
It
No,
appears
please.
to be establishing a base at current level.
I guess so. If you draw a triangle, it would come together at some point, maybe a month from now.
Yeah, it's living below the 200-day moving average. It's breaking all moving averages. It's going down an up market. Are they? I don't know. I don't know enough about the company.
It was
I'm
pretty
just
good.
speculating. It could be that they are trying to remove Anthropic's from their models. And right now, Anthropic AI is considered the best.
Yeah.
So that could be the reason.
Do you agree that Anthropic is probably the best right now, Yogesh?
At least from coding perspective, from reasoning perspective, it is much, much better than Gemini and ChatGPT or Perplexity because so I'm not just using it for coding, but I'm also using it for idea generation. So I tell it that, hey, I'm doing this, this, we already accomplished this. What value add can we add from here? And it then throws 4 or 5 ideas and tells me which one is the best and why it is the best. And then I kind of take a deep dive further into those, versus Gemini is not that great. You have to kind of dig deeper with Gemini to get to some of those. So that's just my findings. I mean, I'm sure Gemini is better in some other things that I haven't done with, but
I've been mainly using it for like reasoning and emails and to have like someone to talk to because I'm lonely these days. I have a two-week-old and he doesn't speak back, he just screams. So what
you need to stop talking to AI and get involved with real people.
that real person just cries all day. I just have to like give him milk. That's all I do. I give him milk and just clean it up and give him some lotion.
But hey, Floyd, I had a really good experience as my one of the managers know I do a lot of investing and asked if for the Northwest region of Jacobs Engineering, so we're talking a few thousand people, asked me if I would put together a presentation on why they should be invested in the 401k. And so I used Gemini in this example, and I wrote a pretty clear description of what the presentation was to accomplish. And somehow Gemini knows what stock choices our employees have. I'm not sure how they know that, but it did. It does know. And it took it maybe, I don't want to exaggerate, it took it maybe 7 minutes, and it put out a 15-page PowerPoint presentation that I've gone through and edited and cleaned up, but for almost no effort on my part, other than writing about a 1 paragraph description, I was blown away at what a professional PowerPoint presentation popped up on my screen. And I probably spent an hour doing edits and changing a few things, and I wanted to add things on my own, but first time I've had AI do a formal presentation for me, and guys, I was totally impressed.
It's very, very impressive. There's even one more. Oops. There's another one I use is like, what is it called? Gamma. And they're pretty darn good. Literally, you prompt it, it'll take in the information. But it's even better. What I do is you do Claude. From Claude, you get the reasoning and what you exactly want. Then you build it into Gamma, and Gamma will actually make the pictures, the slides, the illustrations.
And the name of it is just Gamma,
Gamma.app.
and is it free?
It is.
Gamma.app, okay.
But you only get to have 10 slides.
Oh, okay.
But you have to get more slides, you have to just pay more. What, like $9 a month or $10 a month.
Yeah, so you do a 1 month trial then or something. But I'm just sharing with you that for me to have generated that on my own could have been, I don't know, 16, 20 hours.
Yes, easy. I remember when
So,
presentations used to take me like days to make, and now it's just like with some chatting with Claude in the car. So sorry, Yogesh, I'll talk to real people soon, I swear. But while chatting to Claude in the car, it's just like it'll give me the nuts and bolts of what I'm really trying to do. So even though educational topics used to take me like weeks to generate, even though I didn't do one this day, even though I didn't do one today, it's just so much quicker. And I can actually throw all the meeting notes from all these
oh,
meetups
yeah.
into it. And it's like when one or two people comment something in the chat, or some people say something and people are very engaged in the topic. Like if we ever spent more than 5 minutes on this topic, on this transcript, let's make an educational idea out of it. And that could be next presentations instead of me using my brain. Or the nice way to say it is using data to find out what topics are interesting to people instead of going by my gut and feel.
So has anyone been successful in using AI for either stock or option strategies that you implemented with success?
I feel like that's Yogesh in options trading, which he had a tax where one of the LLMs told him it's something about tax advantage position sizing.
Yep. Yeah, it's case by case basis. I mean, especially if you have a long-term position like Haley has like NVIDIA stock
Yeah,
for like 9 years, 10 years, and you are wondering, hey, what happens if it drops? I don't want to cash out and pay taxes on it. I won't like to hold it because it most likely come back up.
Yep.
Then AI can generate strategies for you using options,
right.
using leaps,
Yep.
and tell you how you can protect your position, but at the same time reap the benefits on the upside.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Yeah, so like NVIDIA, if my position is large enough or it gets large enough, what end up my happening is like it creates a family trust or it creates a family office because of that. Because it's like at one point it's like, how do I leverage that so I can borrow money from my NVIDIA stocks to spend money on because it's just such a large position now. So it's not just about making money and selling it. It's about maybe longer term tax advantages because do I want to pay 25% of all the earnings? I probably don't. I pay enough taxes.
So, could I be your baby's grandpa?
Of course. Come on through. I'll get you a house in San Francisco and come on through, Floyd.
Yeah, but that means I'm part of the trust.
Oh, true. Why not? I always need people to sign off on the trust as when I sign the actual trust, I always need a third party viewer.
Okay.
So it is friend who asked. So John asked, doesn't Cloud use up tokens 10x faster than OpenAI ECC? Yes, I use up Cloud tokens pretty darn quick. But also Claude, I feel is like if I go into deep research or I pull their MCPs a little too much, it tells me it's like, hey, you're about to run out. You want to refill? But I've been using something called twins.so to get more agentic stuff. So whenever I write stuff in email, everything gets stored into my own personal Wikipedia, which I use as Notion. So I'm trying to streamline my life using a bunch of tokens, which cost me like what, $50 a month or something in tokens to run my daily tasks every day. So I can just get more time for myself and to talk to a screaming dude.
So why wouldn't you use Google Studio or something like that to do
I haven't had much luck with Google Studio. It's like with Claude, it actually reads through the connectors on Claude is able to go through my emails better without missing stuff versus Gemini, even though Gemini and Gmail should be communicating well with each other, but it doesn't get past history of tasks that has been assigned.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why that is because I've been pinning every single AI against each other and connecting every single software, and I've been like prostituting my data to every single LLM and see how it goes.
Okay.
And I don't know why it's going, and Anthropic is going leagues better than ChatGPT as every model comes out, and I just don't understand it.
But eventually convergence will happen and all AI models will be same.
Yep, I do believe that. Oh, so James says, Haley, why don't you borrow money against your NVIDIA and use that for trading? I don't like being highly leveraged. John, yes, is twin.so and is the application for use for my agentic agents.
So one of the things that I did with AI or with models, right? Since we're talking about it, this is some idea that you guys may want to look into if you guys are into that kind of stuff. So when we are using stock trading, right, how do we know where to have a stop limit, or how do we know where to have a trailing stop, or how do we know where to have a ATR stop? And most of us do trial and error, or we'll say, okay, last 5 times it worked, so I will do that. So I build an engine or a model where it can loop through bunch of parameters and tells you that for last 10 years or 5 years, these parameters work the best. So trailing stop or ATR stop, and I then did it with different indicators like MACD or RSI or stochastics or TSI, true strength index. And it will tell you for each one of them, if you apply that indicator, then what stop limit or trailing stop works best. I took that concept, and while I was building the TQQ strategy that I shared last time, we apply a fixed trailing stop for that. But I thought when I was interacting with AI, it told me that, hey, it might be better if you apply different trailing stop depending on how much gains you have for a particular position. So what I did was, okay, now over a period of 6 years or 10 years, you have a lot of positions, like maybe 50 to 100 positions total, getting in, getting out, buy and sell. So I created a trade distribution. So it tells me which ones are 5%, 10%, 15%, 20%. And there are some which are like 80% or even 250%. Like 1 or 2 trades are the best, and they make up the whole gains in that particular portfolio. So then I said, okay, so it makes sense that if I have a 5% or 10% gain, and if the stock doesn't behave properly, then I get out in 10% trailing stop, versus where I have 60% gain on a position. There is no reason for me to get out at 10% stop. I can as well stay for 15%. And when I did that, it added 200K to the bottom line. Earlier it was 500 something, now it becomes 700 something. So I was surprised to see that change, that it really, applied in the back testing. That really works. I would not have thought about it, but when you see these details, the AI kind of, as I said, if you know your stuff, then it can really, really give you very good insights into how to hone in into your system or how to make it more efficient. So it might help you guys.
Thank you, Yogesh. That definitely does make sense because it's like you have a 100% gainer. You're not going to sell at a 7% trailing stop loss. And then you can always look at ATR and stuff like that to see where you can just hold a little bit longer, especially believe into the long-term position of that company.
Yep.
So let's go into some watch list stocks. So if you guys are curious, Tesla is actually forming a base. We'll see what Elon Musk is going to do. If you guys remember, he formed Doge for the government to kind of clean up. And now people seem to have forgotten, and we'll see his robo taxis are going to do well. I've written in multiple, but there's always a human behind, so I don't know how good it is. Waymo always does weird stuff. Biotech, I'm still watching it. Stats, EchoStar for satellite radio, is still forming a base. Nibius Group, Albemarle, Credo. Oh, Credo's here. Forgot that I put it. These days feels like months sometimes. Tiva and Rovian. So let's take a look at some of these. Let's take a look at ROIV. So it's definitely basing a little bit. I can't show you earnings and fundamentals yet. Don't know why my market surge, it's still not working on any browser. I don't know what's happening. I'll probably send in a ticket or I'll reinstall a browser, or maybe I just need to restart my computer. Who knows? It's basing, the volume is lightening up a little bit. It's getting a little heavier on the right side. It looks like it might break out. Does anyone have, I don't remember what this company does. Can anyone give us some insight? All good. Let's take a look at Tiva. So Tiva had a little earnings gap breakout over here because the earnings bar is right over here. And now after earnings, it's kind of going sideways a little bit. It is trying to break out its previous high in February. It's definitely, dang, I just wish I could get sales and earnings because I don't remember all of them. But it looks like this looks like it could be a big fat base because it has a nice little run up. So we're just exploring technicals. You look at Credo, that was a previous winner for me. I invested into the company. Credo, man, all these guys. These are serializers, if I remember correctly, because my memory's faulty. It's trying to go up a new high past what, 215, 220, right around there. It kind of retraced back a little bit, and we'll see if it goes. There is alert for me for a new all-time high here, so hopefully I'll be keeping in touch with the market. And just so we all can see Tesla, because that's always an institutional darling. What the heck? What is going on with my chart? I'm not in log mode, am I? Give me a sec.
Tesla just had a recall on their trucks, the self-driving trucks.
They did? What?
Well, maybe it's just a software update.
Bum, bum. So Model S, X, 3, and Y. Interesting. Tesla, you're right. Tesla will release an over-the-air software update free of charge to fix the issue. There you go. So even though there's a recall, they're just gonna do a software update.
Oh, nice.
They've done that a few times. Where it's like, we're recalling, but it's actually not a hardware defect, and it's just a software that you have to tune, which is kind of crazy. So let's look at leverage edge strategy update. We're just gonna go to the website directly. So currently, as of May 1st, Gary Taylor, he updated if you're in TQQQ, you've been up 40.3%, but if you're in buy and hold, you're only up 25.1%. So his edge is about 15.2%. And we look at the activity over here, it is, he updated it. So what I'll do is, I don't know how to zoom for some reason. Oh well. So pretty much we can see there was a new buy on the TQQ on 0406, and that was the signal. There's a profit taking that he built into the system, but because it's a really high market, there's a re-entry buy, and you're still invested. So and you're up about 40% on TQQ. But as Floyd said, if you're investing in SOXL or SOXL, you're doing pretty darn well for yourself, especially if you invest in October, which was when it was like $25, and now it's about 180. Nope, still not working. So that's what's the leverage edge update. This is pretty much like, and we look at, I think we saw this already beginning, where you look at SOXL and you saw the leverage edge on the bottom. Yes, we did. So let's look at some economic indicators. So there's no FOMAC meeting in the next month. Before the meeting, there's some CPIs, there's some PPIs, but these are the ones that I would look out for from May 15th, 19th, 22, 25, and 28th. So, and you want slides, you want recordings, feel free. It should be on YouTube, but I have been, oopsies, I'm making a lot of mistakes. My slides, my apologies, everyone. The YouTube link should have been right here for everyone to watch, but as I was making the slides, I got a little bit just like my trading view, I lost a lot of my technicals, so thank you for bearing with me. The next meeting is going to be the second Thursday of the month, and it's on June 11th. So if people want to discuss, is there any other topics people want to discuss, since I didn't have an educational topic today? Is there something on people's mind that they kind of just want to chat about with a real human instead of being like me and talking to Claude?
I just wondered how many people in this group, since this is a leveraged ETF group, how many people are doing 2x leveraged ETFs? on single stocks?
I'm
Not me, Floyd.
making a poll right now.
What is your experience? Are you doing it?
I'm doing quite a few of them, yeah.
And how is your experience?
There's a little disconnect between the charts of the underlying stock and the 2X ETFs, which are really, I don't know why they call them ETFs because they're just 2X on a single stock, but that's the way they've decided to name them. But I'm seeing some disconnect on the chart patterns, not a lot, but a little bit, and maybe it's because of the rescaling every day or something.
So I just created a poll. Do you trade 2x leverage ETFs? So
So are you using any specific system to trade them, or how do you do that?
I screen for them on the weekend. I have a database of 2X ETFs that I keep as a separate list of stocks, and then I run screens against them on the weekend to see what's what their chart patterns look like, and
Okay.
yeah.
kind of speaking of that, I'm curious if people actually do like single stock leverage ETFs instead of sector ETFs.
Well, you were talking about Tesla earlier, and just a few minutes ago, there's like 3 leveraged ETFs just on Tesla,
Yes, there
Yeah.
are.
depending on who the issuer is, and they're all very liquid. There's not a lot of difference in trading one versus the other. So
So to answer your question, about half the people answer the question. Half the people answered, and so at least 5 people do trade 2x leverage ETFs. So you are not alone. Oh shoot! Thank you, John. John found that wheels are falling off the Tesla cars. That article was from 2023 for FSD. This one is all rear wheel Cybertrucks sold over the last 2 years due to risk of wheels falling off. So I guess you turn into like a skiing situation. It's okay. What's the worst that can happen? At least you stop versus Toyota, where you press the brakes and the car goes faster.
That happened?
Yes, that happened.
Wow.
And no one
How
can.
did that connect?
So pretty much, I was working on the case pretty much because I was, if you believe it or not, at one point in my life was a mechanical engineer. So pretty much how the case settled was that the carpet made the brakes stuck. So you put a double carpeting onto your car. The top carpet slides forward enough, goes behind the gas pedal, and right in front of the accelerator pedal. And what happens when you press the brake pedal, the accelerator gets pressed even more. So as you're braking more, you're accelerating even more. So you're literally just pressing brake and accelerate at the same time. So, and Toyota settled.
Toyota lost?
Yeah. And what was interesting about that case was that even with the same data set, both parties came with different conclusions, saying one was saying it was Toyota's manufacturing defect and one was another user error. Man, it was like no one could agree and they had the same data set because that's how they cleaned up the data. Any other questions that's on people's mind that want to hear, that the group wants to talk about? Like, are you guys sure you guys don't want to talk about anything else? That means I get to feed my kid in 15 minutes because they have a 3-hour feeding schedule.
There was an excellent presentation at the New Jersey meeting last month, this past month, and it all had to do with AI and how you could use it, make, PowerPoints, use even little cards that you had, 3x5 cards, and have them put that into something for you. It was a very good presentation, and any of you who didn't attend it should see if you could possibly get the recording from that.
Will do. I'm part of the New Jersey group, so let me look into that one too.
And
It's called the Manslick group.
that was last month.
It's this month, and the meeting was on May 6th.
Thank you.
Thank you. So without any further questions James says, let's look at space stocks. One of my friends, they're in Rocket Lab. And Rocket Lab, he invested in Rocket Up. We were discussing it many years ago. Yes, years, like probably 2 years ago in like 2024. And it was like, yeah, I love Rocket Lab. And it was just like, it just looked like this. And then all of a sudden, fast forward a few years later, it looks like this. I was like, why did I get into this? Because Rocket sorry, let me respond to the chat. Manslick. Rocket Lab was they're diversified versus SpaceX was mainly government contracts, but they're winning all the government contracts. So Rocket Lab was the more diversified play. Fast forward a few years later, there's a space race, and now there's satellites going up. There's more humans going up. There's potential talks about relanding on the moon. So where would people invest into space stocks? If I haven't invested in the past month, there's no way I would invest in this. It's been like a 10x
So
gain.
there is NASA ETF, and there is UFO ETF.
That's NASA. That's UFO. Oh, I have a good question for you that someone asked me. I tell people that to get rich, it's you concentrate your money, your ideas, and your time into one specific area and be better at anyone else. Don't follow the financial advisors and diversify your holdings across a lot of boards, especially when, let's say, your net worth is equal to your yearly income. You should concentrate on something and get really good at it. What are people's thoughts and opinions on this?
It only works if you have a proper system. A lot of people marry the stock. They'll divorce their wife. They will not divorce the stock. That's where the issue is. So if you follow William O'Neill's sell rules and stuff, then that's great. But most people cannot handle it. Most of them will say, oh, you know what? This is one of the best stocks. So for example, SanDisk, Micron, WDC, Western Digital, STX, all are doing awesome. So they will, if you try and tell this, they will concentrate their position in these stocks at the wrong time. And then if the stock gaps down by say 10%, they will not be willing to get out.
Yep.
So that's the problem. First of all, the concept of low risk entry, most people do not understand that. You have to manage your risk. So you need to understand when you will get out without any emotions. So the advice is good. The problem is the system. They don't have the system. If you can give them the system, then that's great.
That is very true. I think I have to add that caveat to my advice because so I was talking to another friend of mine. He was like, you know what? In January, I was like tearing my hair out because I just bought in like December at all-time high and it went down. My months might be wrong. And then I waited until and I just sat around till March and now we're here in May. I'm like, you know what? My new strategy in the market is just keep buying every month, keep on holding it and forever and ever. And just keep on buying SPY and TQQQ because it will always go up. But then I always counter them as like, look at 2000 to 2015. What the heck happened there? Which I'll show you. Give me a sec. My pen. Oh, sorry. My chart numbers didn't go down that low because we've been riding nice. So we look at 2000 to like 2015. It's like if you bought and hold for 15 years, I think that's a long time. My kid will be a teenager by then. For 15 years, you didn't make a dime, especially you bought at the high. So I'm like, I do agree with Yogesh. Process and systems help you
So
get in and out.
the issue with that analogy, right? If you don't do anything for 15 years, I can guarantee you most people will sell right at the bottom. They cannot take a pain anymore.
That is true. 2 years later, almost 10 years later, and they're just like, I'm done with the stock market. I'm going to go buy a different asset.
Right, exactly.
That is very true. Because no people is going to be like, oh, I just put money in the market. How's it doing? No one wants to talk about how they bought JDSU, Uniphase, or Cisco at the peak.
Yep. But what I've realized is, like as I said, TQQQ, that is the one ETF, and that is probably because of QQQ and the way the market is structured, it is highly bullish or has a very good bullish bias. That is one ETF, if you can put your money and follow the right sell rules and no emotions and continue, then it has really superpower to double, triple, n times your money in a good market.
And for you, thank you, Yogesh. And for Vladimir, I just sent you the New Jersey Manslick meetup group. They're in a group right now. So if you want to look at that AI, how to use AI, that Cookie mentioned, it's right over there. Any other comments before?
Recording, it was in the recording from the meeting. There were two separate presentations. One was just on AI and the other one was how to implement and use it for your advantage.
Let me see if they have. I don't think I can. Let me see. Nope. Oh, nope. Nope. Whoops. I was just about to end this meeting, trying to go to the other meeting. Never mind. Good thing that didn't happen. Any other thoughts that people have that they've been kind of holding for the last month that you guys want to talk about? I'm checking chat to make sure I didn't miss anyone. Okay. So I'm gonna
So
Congratulations with the baby.
how does people feel? Are we in AI bubble or not?
yes. Yes from Haley. I feel like we're 100% in a bubble. I'm like, my friends are buying SOXL. They're giving me stock investing advice. I've known them for over a decade, and they're like, you should buy SOXL at 150. Is it cheap? I'm like, oh, it's like, look, I was right. It went down 20% and went up 20% next day. It's like you can't lose. I'm like, the F? You're an engineer at a semiconductor company. And I'm like, what's going on? But like James is saying in chat, AI bubble lasts another 2 years. Does not mean that it's all about timing, right? It could happen tomorrow, it could happen the next month. You don't know when it's gonna happen. When are the big tech companies gonna run out of money and they can't hyperscale anymore? Or people with money is gonna come in and buy all these data centers and they get to do processing now for cheap because now they get subsidized from the big tech like Meta.
We're Floyd here. One possible scenario is we'll see a serious short-term sell-off to shake out the weaker hands, maybe a 50% correction, and the V-shaped recovery, and the market comes back higher than it was, with a lot of people standing on the sidelines saying, what just happened to me?
Yep, and that always happens in every bubble. You go back in 99 and see, you will see 20-30% drops and market comes back up roaring. And everybody starts believing that, hey, this cannot go down. It's only one way.
Yep.
I'm going to 1999. I'm gonna share my screen again.
And then people will say it's a rigged market. It's a rigged market. Maybe I'll try painting or jewelry, or they'll try something else crazy, and they go through their life trying something. They go through failures one after another, and they say, why is the world against me? It's because they don't have a sense of what's really going on here, and they're looking for something quick.
Right. Yeah, once the parabolic move starts, then you will have some serious corrections along the way. But it's very difficult to time it. It just gets more and more difficult. It will be very similar to what we got in silver
Wow.
last month.
Like in 98, you had a 30% drop, and
Yep.
then roar higher. You just roared higher. Or in 97, 1400 goes down to 1200, $300. Let's say 20, 30%. Yeah, you have 30% drops, and
So look at that 98. Doesn't it look like what happened in last April?
honestly, it kind of does.
And then it went up crazy, just like we are today.
Yep. This is a weekly chart, so it's like a month or two later, or a few months. Took a little bit longer, but whatever we're experiencing right now is absolutely ridiculous. And it's good to be invested if you invested early. So what Yogesh was referring to in silver was that it went high to about over $100. Once it hit over 100, it does a slight correction, went down 30%. And then let me know if this joke is getting old, Yogesh. And then it's gonna go somewhere over here, around that $200 range. But it's also because we talked about it in the past, it's about the ratio between gold, the relationship between gold and silver. And silver is definitely lagging behind gold at the moment. Wait, is this still a lagging behind gold, Yogesh?
I mean, it's going sideways. Gold is also going sideways. It's better it's going sideways. That kind of builds the energy for the next leg up.
Yeah, because
It's kind of building a base.
it is. Any other comments?
Somebody's asking about CBDC.
Oh, CB.
Oh, that's not a stock. It's digital currency. That's what they're, or crypto, I would say. They're trying to move it into crypto, stable coins.
Oh, so it's like I said, fiat, you get hard assets now because fiat are kind of made up.
Oh, CBDC also made up. It's no hard asset, but it gives governments more control. They know exactly where your money is, what are you spending on, and if you have IRS coming after you, they can stop you from spending it because they are the one who issue it.
Hey, sounds like China. Sounds like a joke, but it's not. CBRS. Oh, sorry, John. I didn't mention CBRS. What's the market cap of this guy? Oh man, TradingView, you don't have the market cap yet? let's say $300, 33 million. Wow, 30 billion in trading. You got it, James. 5-minute chart coming up.
What was the previous symbol?
It was CBDC, is a central bank digital currency, digital form of the country's fiat currency. And someone was asking about, should I buy gold and silver? I said you should buy it because CBDC is like crypto, because they're going to track you everywhere you're going, and there's no more cash to give and disappear. It's going to be all tracked, and they can stop you from spending because they can't freeze your accounts. So now we're talking about CBRS, 215 million shares. This guy is at, wow, that's a big company. It is definitely a unicorn. 200 times 300 is what, 300 billion or 30 billion? So it gapped up. I don't ever like seeing these gap ups. I like seeing gap ups. 67 billion. Thank you, Alex. So I do like seeing these gap ups, but on a 5-minute chart, I don't like seeing this kind of muted response on a stock like this. Like when when Figma, not Figs, Figs is a clothing brand. When Figma came out recently, there was just not as much excitement. It started going down. But who knows? Because we look at the daily chart, it is on the bottom, but if there keeps on being higher highs and higher lows, that's actually a great sign for that company.
Look at Circle,
What?
CRCL,
There was a semicolon there. Whoa, what happened to
and
you?
not a 5-minute chart.
I was like, what the heck is that?
So zoom out a couple of months. Yep. And you can see here at the bottom, it had a lot green volume candles. And now the character is changing slowly.
It is. It's
And this has a potential to double from current levels.
This is kind of nice. It kind of slowed down and consolidated a bit. It tried to break out. It's still kind of finding its footing right now, but we'll see what happens at this 130, 30-ish and change mark.
So it had a Wyckoff spring action from February of this year and went all the way up until mid-March.
Mhm.
And then it started to form a creek, which is we call a backup action or Wyckoff creek action.
Mhm.
And now it is at a point where it might go a little bit sideways. That will be nice. And then that's the trigger when it will start moving up. And that will be the new stage 2 from there on.
Where's stage 1? You're talking about this is going to be stage 1 or this is the stage 2?
We are in stage 1 right now.
Okay.
It will move into stage 2. Or we are actually transitioning into stage 2, I should say.
Gotcha. That makes sense. I was like, doesn't look like stage 2 just yet.
Right. We are not there yet.
We might be. Any other stocks? With that, hey, for the first time ever, we're gonna end the meeting a little bit earlier. Again, my apologies, everyone. No education topic today. Next month.
And just to close, Core Wave is another one that is also moving into stage 2, CRWE, and it has triple-digit sales growth.
This looks like it wants to go. You're talking about like green bars of Scribe. Wait, my volume is linear. Is my volume? Yeah, my volume bar is linear, but those are nice green bars. It definitely wants to spring out just like Circle.
Yep.
Thank you for sharing, Yogesh. Thank you for. I'm glad you're able to get off work on time, Floyd. So thank you for everyone for being here, contributing. John, Alex, James, Larry. Thank you guys all for just continuing the chat. Litamira, Cookie, thank you for telling us about the New Jersey AI meetup, that how to use AI a little bit better on our lives and how to make money in AI. We get to use it and make money. It's a win-win to me. So I'll see everyone next month, second Thursday of the month. Hope to see you soon, and I'll get more than 3 hours of sleep next time, I swear to God.
When is the next meeting?
June second Thursday of the month is going to be June 11th, I believe. Yeah, June 11th, right over here. So I'll see everyone there, and I promise you more than 3 hours next time. See everyone soon.
Thank you. Have a good day, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.